Welcome to Female Frequency Podcast. Hi, everyone. I'm Jody Nelson, curator, artist, mentor, divine channel, and host of Female Frequency. I am here to bring you unbound forms of ecofeminism, reclaiming art, spirituality, and feminine power to revive the earth. Each week, Female Frequency brings you intimate conversations with trailblazers and amazing stories to ignite change. You'll find inspiring alternatives to the patriarchy, discover creative paths, courage, connection, and magic. Hear from the heroes who activate and restore the divine feminine for our earth. Each episode serves as a catalyst, offering wisdom along with practical steps to empower you to make a positive impact on the planet. Whether you're an artist, empath, or eco-warrior, there's a story here to invite awe and help you embody what I call the female frequency. Hey, frequency friends. In today's episode, we're reclaiming the occult, magic, and mysticism with Reverend Francis Fayden. That's right, the Rev is in the house, and we're blowing the roof off patriarchal limitations to divine connection. As an interfaith minister, spiritual counselor, and intuitive mentor, her greatest joy is enabling people to have sacred experiences of themselves and direct experiences with God, whether God appears as Mother Mary, Isis, or Quan Yin. Francis champions connecting with the divine feminine through the deepest wisdoms of her own body and Mother Earth. She helps countless women walk in their inner path of healing, trusting in themselves and manifesting their dreams in the world. Learn what she calls the threefold soul of artist, mystic, healer, or creativity, ritual, and healing can bridge heaven and earth. Explore the field of unconditional love within the female frequency, plus stay all the way to the end because the Rev concludes with an invitation to go within. Yes, she guides us in a very special meditation to open your heart chakra. Hello, sister. Thank you so much for joining me today, Francis. I am so excited to have you here.
I can't even begin to say how excited I am to be here for you in the female frequency, which I love so much.
Well, and I love how you help guide people into the female frequency and let them swim around and be creative and just be more receptive in their life. I mean, you are a game changer in this ecofeminism lens that we're looking at.
Thank you so much. It's so kind of you to say that. And everything you just said, I love all of it. Swimming around, being creative, ecofeminism, the whole thing. Let's talk about it. Bring it on.
Let's talk about it. Well, I got to tell everyone how we met because I'm not even quite sure that you know.
I might not know the whole thing. No, it's true.
No, I was on a pilgrimage and I was in France and I had just been on Venus tour. I was looking at the Venus of Willendorf and looking at all the other Venuses she told me to go take a look at. And I was in my hotel room. I was in Paris and I was wasted. I was so tired. It was so much output because that was a solo pilgrimage. You know, I had rented cars. I don't speak French. So it was really just a different level. And I was so tired and I was like, I need a little meditation. I needed a guided one to be more specific. And so there I was looking around because I wanted something new to help me with this, with my new level of where I was in my body. And I found your meditation and it was a chakra meditation. And I think even more specifically, I think it was the one you channeled for Mary Magdalene.
Mary Magdalene. Yep. I remember.
Yeah.
Mary Magdalene chakra blessing meditation. Yep.
It was incredible. So how did you get started with chakras? And let's start there. How did you get interested in chakras and make it part of your lifestyle?
Yeah, that's a great question. It goes back a long time ago to a galaxy far, far away. So, my journey, I've been on the spiritual path a long time, literally since I was like 7 years old. I wanted to be a priest and was told, you can't do that. Girls can't do that. So right around the time I was 11, I was like, I need to start figuring out how the world really works. I was very serious as an 11-year-old. And so I was like, I know that what I'm being told is not the truth. This whole stuff that's coming from the church, like this can't be the truth. Because by that point, I already had such a deep sense of connection with spirit. And I was like, why would God give me this desire to do this and there not be a way to do it? That didn't make sense to me. So I started studying all the things, astrology and numerology and everything you can, and past lives and phone calls from the dead and all kinds of stuff, you name it. I was always in the occult section of the library, like, what's the next thing? But then when I was 19, I had a health crisis and I went to my first healer and she didn't know anything about me. And my sister actually took me, and all she did was take a cotton swab under my tongue and went in the other room and like was checking my energy or something like that, and came right to the spot where I was having problems and basically said, this is what's going on with you. But then the thing that was really cool is she said, now I can give you the herbs that are going to help with this, but unless you forgive whoever you're angry with, this is not going to fully heal. And I had the face that you have right now, which is like, how did she know? How did she know that I was so angry when I was 19? I was so angry with certain family members. And I was like, whoa. And then I was like, I want to be able to do that. So I was in college at the time and, was doing all the college things. When I got out of college, I didn't really want to do what I had studied. I was like, I really want to do something with this healing thing. Like, how do you do that magic thing that lady did? And this is back in the 80s. And so there were not so many options as there are now. You can go anywhere and you can take all kinds of interesting healing things. But back then it was basically you could become a chiropractor or an acupuncturist or a massage therapist. Those are the big three. And I didn't want to do the first two. So I became a massage therapist. And there was a beautiful school in Baltimore, which is where I was at the time. And that was lovely. It was perfectly fine. It wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but it was a really good start for me. But then you had to take like an extracurricular class that was like not massage specific. And I took a class on chakra balancing. And it was all about integrating it into your body work. And as soon as this woman came and started talking to me about the chakras, I was like, oh, like I was just like, this is the thing. This is the thing I want to know. How does it work? And she was really amazing because she had been a psychiatric nurse, like in psychiatric hospitals with people with like paranoid schizophrenia, like even like criminals, like really intense. And she would do this energy work that she was teaching us to open up the chakras and, people's bodies and stuff. And people started getting better. And then she started talking about how it was connected to a lot of the teachings from India about the nadis, the energy centers. And I was just like, I was like, more. I just couldn't get enough of that. So I slowly started incorporating that into my body work that I was doing. And a funny thing happened. As I'd be working on people, for example, they would come to me to get a massage like every week or something like that. And I would just do my little energy thing. And at the end, I'd be like, wow, their second chakra is blocked again. Like, why would that be the case? What's going on there? And what I started doing was mentally asking myself, like, why is that second chakra blocked? And then I started to get answers. The chakras started to talk to me. I started to get images and impressions. I was like, whoa, what is happening? Because I wasn't trying to. I just was really asking, like, why is this? And so it's like, boom, a picture of a dog pops in my mind. And so I mustered up the courage to ask my client, I was like, is there any reason why I might be seeing a dog down here in that second chakra area? Oh, my dog passed away 2 months ago. And I was like, oh. So that helped me to start to trust things. And then from there, the chakras just kept talking to me. And I kept getting impressions. And it wasn't like I was like visualizations when you're trying to see something. I wasn't trying to see anything. It was like watching things on the screen of my mind. And I was all in for this. And so the more I did that, the more information came. And it was way too much to do a massage because it was like a 3-hour thing by the time I did everything. So I let go of the body work and I just started focusing on doing the energy work and the chakra work. And at that time, I was mostly focused on health and wellness. But what I realized was that by the time something is in your body, it's been in your energy for a while. And I wanted to help people before it became like a physical thing. And what I'm actually really gifted at, what I've learned over the years is like, I'm really good at being able to hear and see and feel the emotion that gets stuck in the energy centers. And that's 80% of the time when somebody's got something going on, it's an emotion that tends to be stuck in your energy field. And that's what's keeping you from being healthy, having a relationship, like whatever it might be that you're really desiring. It's energy that kind of gets caught up in a little whirlpool, and it's pulling all of your energetic resources. And then the next thing you know, you're confused and you're lost and you don't know why these things are happening. So I just decided that as much as it was helpful to help people with their health, I wanted to take it a step before that and see if I could help people before that was happening. Like, heads up, this is what's going on in your energy field. And I did start doing that. And then I started going down even more and learning that the energy centers, all your chakras, have all the information you could ever want to know about yourself. So then I started going down what I call sacred life purpose and really looking to help people to be who they are on the planet. That's what I love.
Oh, yes. I think I saw one of your taglines was helping people love themselves to $1 million or something very similar to that.
Yeah, 7 figures or more, helping creative, entrepreneurial women, spiritual women love themselves to 7 figures or more, because that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing right there, is if we can really love ourselves and feel safe, money, relationship, health, it doesn't matter. It's like, we'll be able to receive that because, my tagline for my podcast is it's already here. Your miracle's already here. And I really believe that.
Oh, yes. I am believing that now. I am believing that. I got to ask, you said that you were always in the occult section of the library, and girl, I still think, and I wonder if any of the listeners do too, doesn't that carry like this dark stigma? Like, remember, maybe that's some social conditioning thinking.
Oh yeah. It's totally social conditioning. And I think occult, if we looked up the word, it doesn't mean something scary like we've all been told that it means. And then this is back then. Now it might be called personal development. Now it might be called new age. It might be called something different. But back then, I'm talking when I was 11, like in the 70s, it was astrology was the occult section. But yeah, metaphysical is probably a better word.
Yeah. Okay. I feel lighter already. I mean, like, let's reculture some of these words. And I guess the image that came in my head was probably like deep, dark purple with the probably like what I know now is the Venus star, but some sort of pentagram and like smoke and real witchy, which I am down to be witchy.
Yeah. Well, and here in the female frequency has been demonized in our culture. And that's a big thing that I think all of us are doing, is reclaiming the words, reclaiming the practices, reclaiming the energy, because it is nothing else than really being fully your feminine person that you are and vibing with the earth.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the whole thing. And so we've been conditioned to not trust ourselves, not trust the earth, not trust our bodies, not trust anything that is feminine. And that's why I think we're in this little pickle that we're in on the planet.
Yeah. And listen to you, because you were having sensations in your body and you were seeing images and you were open to being receptive to that instead of the opposite.
Yeah. And here's something that's really important is I really, really wanted it. Okay. And sometimes there's a myth, like I studied the lives of the saints of all different traditions. And there's kind of this mythology of like, oh, they were just, praying one day and then God showed up. No, no. They really, really wanted to have that experience. St. Catherine Labouré is my favorite example. Like when she was 10, she was like, Mother Mary's going to come visit me in person, in the flesh. Like she really wanted that. And then she had that experience. So I really wanted to be able to do what that lady did. I'm like, how did she know that? I wanted that. And then Divine Mother opened up a door that was the right door for me. I could have gone down a lot of doors, but that was the right door for me to do it in a way that was really healing for me as well.
Wow. Are there other saints that you're calling in to channel? I mean, you have quite the lineup of saints that you connect with.
I could go on and on about it, but I can't talk about any of that unless I talk about my experience with Mother Mary. So do you want me to talk about my Mother Mary experience?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So on my journey, I was doing this beautiful work that I was doing, and I moved to a spiritual community, which I thought was going to be the be all end all for me. It was a dream to like live with other people that were all about spirit and have my life be about that. That was my dream. But, as life would have it, wherever you go, there you are. And so it turned out that community reflected a lot of my family of origin, and it wasn't really the healthiest environment for me. And I wanted so bad for that to be the thing. I was so attached to it that I was really ignoring the red flags that were going on around me. My wife, Deepa, she saw them all because she's really good that way. But I really, really wanted it to be like, no, let this be my thing. And after 6 years, we had to go. It just wasn't the right thing. But by that point, I had been ignoring my intuition for myself. I could still do it for other people, but I was ignoring it for myself so much that my connection with spirit was really, really thin. And then we moved out of there, and I was just spiritually heartbroken. I was so heartbroken and angry. I was so angry at myself.
Wait, you were angry with yourself? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. Here's why. Because the most important thing to me in my whole life was my connection with spirit. My spiritual path was the most important thing to me. And I let other people mess with it. I let other people tell me that I was doing the wrong thing. I let other people influence me. I let myself I gave my power away is what I did, wanting it to be the right thing and wanting to fit in and, all my childhood stuff. Oh my God. And I gave my power away for the thing that was most important to me that I swore I would never, ever let anybody mess with. And I did. I let them mess with it. And so I was really mad at myself. And I went through a dark night of the soul because I was also grieving. It felt like, you know what it felt like, Jody? It felt like I had just gotten out of an abusive relationship. That's what it felt like. And I couldn't even see it until I was out of it, how much I had been watching what I said and watching what I did and kind of like walking on eggshells to make sure that like I fit in and the whole 9 yards. And what I learned is I look back on it now and I can see that Divine Mother, she didn't want me to live there permanently. It was kind of like graduate school for me. The things I learned while I was there, I still use. And I'm actually now really, really grateful. But at the time, oh my God, it showed me that East or Western, because this was based on Eastern teachings. So I grew up with the Western Catholic stuff, and that didn't work for me as a woman in a woman's body. And I went to this Eastern thing, and the information was great, but the patriarchy was still there. Patriarchy was still there. And I think Divine Mother pulled me out of it because she's like, oh, honey, like we need to not be in the patriarchy. Like there's no way you're going to be able to connect with me fully through this energy. And so as much as I was grieving about the whole thing, and I grieved for a good 9 months, walking on the beach every day. That was my medicine. Down in Encinitas, I'd walk on the beach and commune with the osprey that would, be up around me, and just so sad. I was so sad. And then I went to go see this beautiful woman saint who I still go to see, Amma Sri Karunamai. She comes around once a year. And I knew that she would give me a blessing. And I was in such a state. I had written this book about meditation because I loved meditating when I lived there. And when I moved out, I was so heartbroken. I couldn't even meditate anymore. And I was like, all my spiritual practices that I had learned were just like, almost like tainted for me. They were painful, couldn't do it. So I said, well, let me do something different. So I went to go see Amma Sri Karunamai, and I knew she gave people a blessing, and you could ask for a blessing. And the only blessing that I asked for was, please open my heart back up to God. Just please open my heart back up to God. Because I was so heartbroken. I just was so I couldn't feel it. And so I went, and she gave me the blessing, and Amma in her little Indian accent, said to me, Divine Mother hears all your prayers. And then she blessed me. And I thought I was going to have this and all that anger came out. And I was just feeling like how upset I was, but it came up and it came out, it was almost like a purging kind of thing. Like it came up and it came out. And then it kind of left me, which was really, really great. And about 6 weeks after that, Mother Mary's energy showed up in my life. And I was like, whoa. Now, between you and I, having been raised Catholic, that was the last energy I wanted to show up in my life. I would have been much more happy if it had been like, Pleiadians from Mars or something. But
wait. I didn't really grow up with a whole lot of church or religion. Why was that the last energy you would have wanted?
Because the Mother Mary I was raised with was silent and a doormat.
Okay.
And used as an example of like, she just did what she was asked and didn't ask questions. And I still had all the ouchy spots from the Catholic Church telling me, you're female. There's no room for you here, basically, unless you want to like be a nun and be in the second class position, which I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not wired for that. So I didn't want to have anything to do with anything Catholic at all. That's why I went east as far as I could go with my studies. But in studying yoga, I started understanding Catholicism, which was fascinating. Then I was like, oh, is that what these things mean? So I was still going through my dark night, not as bad, but I was still struggling and trying to figure out who am I now if I'm not going to be living in this community? Like, what am I doing? I really felt kind of lost. Wasn't really sure I could trust my own heart, my own intuition, because that's what brought me to the community. And then that turned out to be so painful. So I was really tentative about the whole thing. And then it was July of 2012. And that was the year of Divine Mother, that 2012 year. And I was just praying, and I was praying at my altar, and I was like, Divine Mother. And I just called God Divine Mother. It's like, Divine Mother, you got to help me. You got to help me. You got to help me. Now, because I'm sensitive to energy, I've been working with energy all this time. I could feel the energy in the room shift, right? And it's like, somebody's behind me. I could feel it. I was like, oh, somebody's here. But I dared not open my eyes because I was like, I don't want it to disappear. I don't know what it is. But in my mind's eye, I turned around and I looked, and I could see that was Mother Mary, very similar to this image on the wall here. I could see that it was Mother Mary, and I was like, oh, crap, that's Mother Mary. And I was like, all right, let me just ask her, why are you here? And I had just started going from working with people one-on-one to working in groups, doing things. Back then it was over the phone. Now I'm doing things over Zoom. And Mother Mary said, I want to be on your next call, where I was channeling messages. And I was like, okay. And then boom, she was gone, like that, just like that. I was like, whoa, what was that? And my mind clicked in, and I was like, was that really like, what was that? And then it was like, how am I going to tell people Mother Mary? I'm like, I'm not Catholic. I'm gay. Like, how's this going to happen? But I was in such a place where I was like, well, nothing else is working. You got to try. You got to give. So I said, all right, I'm going to try it. So I did. I did this call where I was channeling messages from Mother Mary, and I was able to do it. And I didn't ask people for feedback, but at the end of the call, I opened it up and said, does anybody have any questions? And the first 3 people said, if you were wondering about if like your purpose, you're supposed to be doing this. And I was like, okay. So I've been sharing her energy ever since. And because I work with Mother Mary's energy, everybody else comes along. So, and let me clarify for the listeners of the female frequency, when I say Mother Mary, that's how she appears to me. If I was in China, this would be Quan Yin. If I was in Egypt, it would be Isis. If I was somewhere else, she would come to me in a form that I understand. What she really represents is what I call the field of unconditional love, which really is that female frequency, in my opinion.
Ooh, hallelujah. I agree with that. I concur.
Yeah. So with Mother Mary, I can channel Mary Magdalene's energy, Padre Pio's energy. I tend to bring in a lot of healers, St. Jude's energy, the ones that I'm familiar with. And then from the East, Yogananda and Quan Yin, any beings can come. And when I work with people individually, a lot of times their ancestors or their loved ones can come as well. You know why? Because they're in your energy field. It's not like I'm connecting with some weird thing. It's like, this is in your energy field. If you have somebody who's on the other side, and the cool thing about this, Jody, is the person on the other side can either be somebody who you loved who's crossed over, or somebody who's not yet come in. That's the cool thing. So I've seen women, I'm like, are you thinking about having a baby? How did you know? Because there's a little spark in their energy field. I'm like, oh, there's a little soul waiting to come in.
Oh my gosh, the magic you're helping people understand about themselves.
It's really amazing. People talk about, is there life after death? I'm like, what about life before life? We're so arrogant to think we know when life begins. I'm like, guess again, that energy is around us way before there's any little cells dividing. I can tell you that.
You are so great. And you're wonderful. And you and I are in the same Facebook group, and some of your posts are hilarious.
Thank you.
And I got to tell you, when Rockstar Fran shows up, I am all for it. I am just digging around. So tell us more about Rockstar Fran. So you were a musician.
Yeah.
You still are a musician.
I'm still a musician. Yeah. So when I was 7 and was abruptly told, you can't do that, I was like, well, what else would be the most fun thing that you could be? And I already had an affinity for music. Music came to me very easily. And I started playing sincerely when I was about 13. I started playing guitar and writing songs and all of that. And then when but that was still like, late 70s kind of folk rock kind of stuff, and then it was 1982 and Saturday Night Live, the Go-Go's were on. And I was just like, nobody told me you could do that. I was like, you could have fun with your friends and play fun music. You can dance. I was like, oh my God. And so from that point on, that's what I wanted. It's like, I just wanted to be a rock star. What I wanted was to have fun being creative with my friends. That's what I really, really wanted. And I had no other word other than rock star. But yeah, I did that whole thing. I had a couple of different bands and did that. And did it for a while.
And so do you still have a creative practice with your music? Do you still, go jam?
Yeah. So, it's been a really interesting process for me. I say that for those of us who are on this path, who are healers, who are spiritual, who are creative, a lot of times we feel like we have to pick one of those. And in my experience, back in the day, back in the tribal day, we used to be that one person. You used to be like the holy person in the tribe. And you had all of those jobs. You were the holy person who did the rituals. You were the healer, and you were the creative person. Like, you didn't have to choose those things. I call it being a threefold soul. It's like there are these 3 aspects to your soul. And Saint Hildegard of Bingen is a great example of this. And people get in trouble because they feel like in our patriarchal Western culture, you have to pick one. And it's like trying to split yourself into thirds. It doesn't work. So I've been dancing with all these 3 sides of me. And if you think about it, what do all 3 of those things have in common is that they're a bridge between heaven and earth, the unseen and the seen world. So when you're doing ritual, you're communing with the unseen, bringing it into the seen. When you're doing healing work, you're bringing something into material. And same thing when you're a creative person. When you're a creative person, you're going from the invisible realm to the visible realm, and you're still acting that way. And so, of course, I think creativity is one of the most important things. Now, I, like many other people, have struggled throughout my life to own that part, because when I told my mom, hey, Mom, I want to be a musician. My mom, who was a single mom, probably just having a hard day, looked at me and was like, yeah, you better have a backup plan. Now, I know what she meant. What she meant was like, I'm struggling, and you have an uncle who's a musician who's like playing at the church for peanuts, She didn't have that vision. But as a 13-year-old, what I heard was like, oh, you're not good enough to do that.
Yeah.
So I've been undoing that. I've been having to undo all of that. And I'm a Gemini, so I'm a very multifaceted creative person. So I've written a book, and I love writing, and I'm starting to reclaim my music. I put it down, to be honest, in my 30s after I was ordained. I was like, well, if I'm not going to be a rock star, I don't know what else I'm going to be. And this is before YouTube and all of that. Like, people now, you can be a musician in your living room and like reach the world. That wasn't the case back then. And I knew I didn't have the umph to like go play in a smoky bar at 2 a.m. for people that were drunk. Like, I didn't love it enough to do that. Now I'm reclaiming my creative voice as a singer and as a songwriter for spiritual music, and to really be writing more devotional stuff. So the thing I did is, during the pandemic in March of 2021, I made a commitment to play piano. I wanted to learn piano 5 minutes every day. And I've kept that commitment. I just passed my 3-year anniversary, and I can actually play my piano now. Not great, but I can still play it. And I started writing little ditties and stuff like that. So it's one of my commitments for this year, is to own my voice and to start actually playing music. And, if I'm brave enough, to maybe do some things on YouTube.
Ooh, Congratulations. I love
Thank
that.
you.
Now I have something to also peek around on YouTube to see how your updates.
Yeah, I really find that popular music has spiritual messages in it.
Yeah.
So I tend to think of pop music as what's the underlying message. Like, so right now, you and I know that May is the month of miracles. Mother Mary taught me that May is the month of miracles. And so a song that I always listen to, there's two songs I listen to. One is These Are Days by 10,000 Maniacs. You know that song?
Of course.
Yeah. When May is rushing in. I love that. That one keeps me in the miracle vibration. And then the one that I always go to, I love Broadway musicals. And so whenever I'm working with manifestation, something I listen to is from West Side Story. Something's coming. Could it be? Yes, it could. Something's coming, something good. And that keeps me in that sense of anticipation of like, ooh, I got a feeling there's a miracle coming to me. Yeah, that keeps me in that place for manifestation.
Oh man, I have Sinead O'Connor, The Healing Room on repeat these days.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
She's amazing. I love her vibration. She is an amazing singer-songwriter. She was anyway.
Yeah. Sometimes I just get the feeling that she's even doing more helping people heal now that she's passed on than she did when she was alive, because people were like, she's such a radical soul.
Yeah. Yes. Radical soul. She actually told the truth. Imagine that.
Exactly. So.
Yes.
I said, hello, Fran, when we first got here, but I think it's the first time I've ever said that. Maybe second. I always call you Rev. I just think you are so dynamic.
Thank you.
You lead workshops, you have meditations, you do mentoring one-on-one. So if, should people go to your YouTube first to find you, or you want them to go to your website?
Well, it depends upon what you're looking for. So I always say, if you really want to connect with me, you can go to my podcast, which my podcast is on my website. So if you go to my website, that's a great way to connect with me. There's a free download there of a guided meditation. I love doing guided meditations. And so you can get one of those.
Just try one. Try one and let me know how you like it.
Yeah. I love doing those because my intention when I do them is not just like, I'm guiding you. My intention is you're going to have an experience. That's my intention. It's like, you're going to have an experience. We're going to call in some energy and something's going to happen. And it usually does for people.
It usually does. And it does for me. I will either go hot in my body. I mean, I'm okay saying I usually cry because I can cry tears of sadness to release, to purge, but I also can have tears of joy.
Yep.
And I know I've talked to some other women in the group too, and we're always side chatting. Did you feel that? And we're always like, yes, we did. Oh my God. So was that the right side for you or the left side? So yeah. Was it coming in from up above or did your feet feel first? So absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'm wondering if you can lead us as we say adios here today. Lead us in a awakening of the feminine, or helping all the listeners just be more receptive to their creativity.
Sure. So let me talk about that just a little bit, and I'm happy to. So when we're talking about the chakras, there's 7 main chakras in the body. The easy way to understand is that the odd numbered ones, 1, 3, and 5, are more masculine, and the even ones, 2, 4, and 6, are the feminine centers, and then 7 is both of them. It's everything. So that means that energy is going out of the masculine centers and into the feminine centers. And remember I was talking about earlier, like, why is something going on in that second chakra? Well, often, especially if you're a creative person, and especially for women, a lot of times we don't feel safe. It's a vulnerability issue. And so our chakras it's like a shield comes up. But the problem is, it's not just a shield on the outside. It's like that chakra goes offline. So if you're struggling with like, I don't know what my purpose is, or I don't know where my passion is, or I'm not sure about my guidance, chances are your heart chakra has gone offline and you can't access it. Now, you're doing that to feel safe, but you actually put yourself at a deficit because now you don't have access to your wisdom. And you're like, what do? I don't know. I can't tell. So what I'd love to do is I'd love to take us through something that will help your listeners to really open and see and feel that those feminine centers are really, really safe. And it's safe for you to be open, and it's safe for you to receive your guidance, your prosperity, your love, like whatever it might be. Because if you can feel safe, you're all set.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for doing that and helping us tap back into our own wisdom, because nothing can really come outside of us for our path.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's good to connect with other people to get some help, but at the end of the day, you got to trust your own intuition. And it's like anything else. You just got to practice. It's something that you got to, and even me, like I said, I was living in that spiritual community and I just stopped trusting myself because I wanted to connect so much. And unfortunately, I do see that with women a lot of times, is they'll negate their intuition because they don't want to make their partner upset, or they don't want to stand out, or they don't want to, whatever it might be. And then your muscle gets weak. Mm-hmm. So if you really want to be able to trust your intuition, you just got to practice.
You got to practice and exercise it, activate it.
Yeah. And it starts with feeling safe and knowing that it's safe. A lot of people say to me, when I'm working with their energy and I can see that their third eye is struggling a little bit, and I'll say, well, what were you told about your intuition? Oh, yeah, I don't want to see anything bad. They're afraid they're going to have some creepy experience like on TV or something. And I'm like, the universe, hello, it's the energy of unconditional love. It's not going to scare you. It doesn't want to scare you. But I always say to people, this is why we always tap into the highest frequency that you possibly can every day. Say a prayer to whatever you believe in. For me, it's Divine Mother, it's Mother Mary. But you tap into the highest frequency that you can, and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah, oftentimes I ask for creativity to help solve what I'm thinking about, solve a problem or issue, or just wanting to be more creative so I can get it figured out, pass through it. Yeah.
Yeah. And creative people, all you beautiful creative people that are listening, please make sure that you're giving yourself a way to practice your creativity. I'm saying this to myself and to everybody, because when you're highly creative and you don't have a way to express it, your subconscious mind is going to create problems for you because it needs to create something so that you can use your creative energy to do something. So if you don't want to spend all your time solving problems and creating solutions for problems, pick up a brush, pick up a pen, pick up something, go garden, do something with your creative energy so you can use it the way it's supposed to be used.
I think we call that a mic drop.
All right.
All right.
Well, let's get ourselves into a comfortable position.
Okay.
So whatever you're doing, for people, if you're driving, you want to do this later. But all we're going to do is have you close your eyes. We're going to be using something that you already have. Everybody has this. It is your God-given power of imagination known as the mind's eye. And there's no wrong way to do this. If you're more visual, you might see things. If you're more feeling oriented, you might feel things. You can do both. You can do neither. Just let yourself be willing. That's all you have to do, is just be willing. All right. So in that mind's eye, if you can, let yourself imagine that standing right behind you is our beautiful friend, Mary Magdalene. And you can see and feel Mary Magdalene with her hands on your shoulders. Mary Magdalene is a channel of powerful feminine energy. And she's especially good at helping women feel their power in their body, their ability to manifest, their ability to channel. Mary Magdalene, with her hands on your shoulders, is asking you to let your shoulders relax, to let go of the weight you've been carrying, that feeling of heaviness and responsibility. That is often the thing that is getting in the way of that creative flow, is the shoulds that are on your shoulder. And take a deep breath and let that go. Now, in that mind's eye, let yourself see and feel a little ball of golden light right in the middle of the chest area. And as you are breathing in, let yourself see that little ball of golden light beginning to expand. Breathing out whatever you no longer need. Mary Magdalene now putting her left hand right between your shoulder blades and allowing this energy to continue to expand, bringing this beautiful golden energy into your heart center. And now Mary Magdalene is to the side of you with her right hand on the front part of your heart center. So your heart chakra is right between her hands, and we're letting this beautiful golden energy get bigger and bigger until it fills your entire chest area, front and back, inside and out. And as Mary Magdalene represents the energy of power and love, feminine power, feminine love, let your heart chakra be bathed in this powerful healing vibration. Letting go of any old grief, any old heartache, any thoughts of feeling unsafe. And feel the power, your power coming from within you. This beautiful golden light frequency coming from within you. And as we allow this beautiful golden frequency, it's filling your body, it's filling your energy, it's purifying and transmuting all the energies there that you just don't need anymore. And gently now, she brings her hands up to the third eye, right between the eyebrows, the forehead, putting her hand on the front, the forehead and the back of the head, and bringing that same golden energy to that third eye. And we are going to fill that beautiful intuition center with that beautiful golden light of spiritual energy, clearing out any negative beliefs about being a powerful intuitive, or in any way being resistant to your own highest wisdom. Being able to see yourself. Third eye is also about being able to see the big picture, being able to imagine the best for yourself, seeing you happy and healthy and whole and prosperous and powerful. Clearing out any cobwebs in that energy center. And as this happens, we can feel the energy on the top of your head, your crown chakra starting to spin, bringing in energy. All that powerful energy coming down now through your chakras. As Mary Magdalene comes now to your second chakra in the lower abdominal area and the low back by the sacrum, putting her hands on the front and back of your beautiful body temple and bringing all that beautiful energy into the second chakra, which is your creativity, your relationships, your emotions. For women, this is the seat of sexual energy as well. And we are going to allow Mary Magdalene to bless your second chakra with this beautiful golden light. Letting go of old fears and worries, any old traumas, any feelings of being unsafe. We're going to let those evaporate and allow that feeling of power, your own internal power, to trust yourself and trust your own guidance. And now Mary Magdalene putting her hands down on your feet and grounding this energy. So just let yourself see and feel this swirling light coming from on top of your head, right through your crown chakra, coming right down through all of your centers. We're seeing your beautiful feminine centers lit up, and bring that energy down through the hips, all the way down to the bottoms of the feet, and anchoring this energy into the earth, into you. Feeling yourself being equally supported by Mother Earth and by the beautiful energy of spirit. As above, so below. And anything that you're ready to call into your life, just let yourself see and feel that energy coming into that vortex on the top of your head. Feel that prosperity. Feel that partnership. Feel that health. Feel those creative ideas. Feel that expansive energy, whatever it is. Let that come on through as we have cleared your energy to bring into the physical world, whatever that is for you. And your mantra is, thank you. That's all we have to say. Just thank you. Thank you for my manifestation. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my prosperity. Let that energy wash over you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now Mary Magdalene, very gently taking her hands off of your feet, standing up right in front of you. I'm going to let you take a moment, offer your love and your gratitude to her energy. As we say thank you to Mary Magdalene, we release her from our circle with love and gratitude. We stay in this beautiful vibration. Say thank you to all the beings that were here, known and unknown. We release them from this beautiful circle. We bring our awareness back to our body temple as fully as we can. Very gently moving the body temple, move the fingers, move the toes, roll your shoulders, whatever that might be. Take one more breath with me. We can end by saying amen. When you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Rev, thank you.
You're welcome. That was just for you. I never did that before. That was just for you and your audience.
I so appreciate that. I'm still swimming around in a lot of that gold fluffiness right there, and saw some amazing feathers I've never seen before. And Venus came on in, Venus Willendorf.
Yeah.
She says hi. Yeah. I am so appreciative of your energy and joining us today, and wanted to let everybody know that you and I are working together one-on-one for an entire year. So I'm excited to keep everybody posted and having you back again to share some more goodness. That would be amazing.
Oh, I would love it, because a year from now, we're going to be celebrating. We're going to be
celebrating some good things for the female frequency, the collective. We got some things going on, so we'll have to keep everybody posted.
Awesome. I look forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for being such a bright light and a blessing on this planet. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for helping me shine my light bright.
You got it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for vibing with the female frequency today. If this episode or any other episode has helped transform or shift your perspective in any way, please tell me all about it. Tell me all about it in a review where you are listening to this podcast. It will totally help me out and help spread the vibe. If you're a creative looking for more support, this is what I do for a profession. I often host workshops, and you can find out all about those on my website. So take a look at www.pressreign.com. That's PRESSREIGN.com. All right, y'all, until next time.